All right, so wow, what a weekend. So as you can see, I'm back at home. I tried to do some stuff out in the mountains, recording and everything, but what I was doing with my hands, I kind of looked like a T-Rex. I was just walking and talking, and I was just doing this. It really didn't make any sense. So I decided to record this when I got back home. So my friends Sean and Brian Kennedy came up from Houston. We rented a cabin out at Estes Park, and from there, all we did was focus on getting great footage from the Sigma FP and just focusing on film photography. I planned on doing time lapses when I got up there and maybe some other digital photography, but I didn't touch the Canon all weekend. It was just straight film photography and focusing on getting really great footage from the Sigma FP. So because of that, I figured it'd be a great video to talk about some film photography. Just like the time lapses, I've only been doing film photography for a short time. So it's about a year and a half since I really started doing film photography. So my film photography cameras, I found one, my 35mm at a flea market for like 20 bucks. It's an Argus C4 from like 1958. And my medium format film camera, which is a Yashica C, I found at a vintage record shop for like 120 bucks. And it was perfect working condition, the whole thing. I was really surprised when I found that. Film photography is its own learning curve. You have to learn how to really load it, make sure that everything is all lined up, and make sure you're not exposing the film to any sort of light. With a 35mm, you have to expose part of the film to get it loaded into the camera. So you always got to take a few extra shots in the beginning to make sure you get to the unexposed part of the film, which isn't that big of a deal, but you always got to make sure that you're not taking your really good photo on the first few shots. So on a medium format, you feed the film through to where it says start, you close it, wind it, and then you can start your shooting. So you don't have to expose or lose any shots on the film. So each roll of film that you're gonna get is gonna be labeled like Kodak Gold 200. It's gonna have a number, Portra 800. That's your ASA of the film or your ISO. So that way when you're using your light meter to properly expose for the film, you don't have to change the ISO at all because the ISO is already like imprinted into the film. And light meters can be a bit expensive, so I use a camera light meter on my phone. It's actually pretty accurate, so for the time being for me, it's actually a really good alternative to buying like a $250, $300 light meter to properly expose my film. As you can see, like right here, this is Portra 800 and Cinestill 800. Brand new rolls, haven't touched them yet. I'm waiting to get through this other roll I have in the 35mm to go out at night and take some stills with these because that's going to be awesome. This is the Argus C4. It's a janky 35mm. The focus is a little janky, so you have to look through the viewfinder and line up the shot because it'll show like double. So you have to line it up, and it never properly lines up. So I think my focus is out. I think I got to go take it and get repaired, but we'll see after these shots get developed from the trip if I have to replace this camera or repair it or not. So this is the Yashica C. It's my medium format camera. Top down looking. looks pretty cool when you're like out in public. People have so many questions about you using an old camera like this. The film is a 120 stock, so you got to get 120 to fit in here. Don't buy 35 and try to put it in here. Not gonna work. So these are pretty cool. I like taking pictures on these. This is a Kodak 400TX, so it's a monochromatic film, black and white. So I'm really excited to take this out and give it a whirl. I got about, there's a brand new roll in here. I forgot what it is. So we'll find out. I know it's a 100 ASA. So we'll be taking this out on a photo walk actually pretty soon, because I want to take some pictures in downtown Denver with it. And yeah, I got about 6 rolls of film for this camera, and I already have some from Yellowstone I still haven't developed, because getting 120 film medium format is really expensive. I would say that's one of the downsides of film. Unless you have your own dark room and supplies, getting your film developed can get costly. The film is expensive, the processing is expensive, but I think the results are worth it when you get it back. So, you know, save up your money, build up your little film collection, and then get it all developed at the same time. There's an awesome feeling of going to the place and like receiving your developed films and going through them for the first time, because you can't view them before they're developed. So it's all a mystery if everything came out correctly. So it's just this kind of exhilarating experience to get that back a couple weeks later and finding out that all the work you did to get this shot was worth it. As for the Sigma FP, you can see how good of footage that it produces. I'm so happy I got rid of the black magic and settled on this camera. So for these YouTube videos, I'm shooting with a 45mm kit lens from Sigma, but I actually got, where is it? There it is. I got the EF adapter for my Canon lenses, and I've been shot most of this weekend's footage on a Zeiss planar 50mm, so it's about the same focal length as this, just a little bit less. But we also hooked up the anamorphic lens, the ISCO Ultrastar, so you can see some of how that footage came out. We were just playing with it for the first time, and it's a pretty messed up setup. It's really nerve inducing because it's literally just shoving the lens like straight on to this one. Actually, let me set it up and show you. I mean, look at this piece of horror. All it is this bottom part of the anamorphic lens. Hold on. And this bottom part of the anamorphic lens sitting inside a piece of plastic, and you just shove it in like that. Not fun hanging off the end of your camera, but it does produce some pretty good shots. The thing about focusing this is your taking lens, which is the Zeiss 50mm, you have to focus first, which will be ultra soft, and then you focus this in. So it produces a really good image, extremely wide, because what the anamorphic does is it squeezes your footage in so everything looks thinner and taller, and then you de-squeeze it in post so it's nice and wide. You get a lot of information built into the camera that way. It's so smooth and milled perfectly. Just spinning it is so satisfying. So that was it for my weekend. I had a pretty good time out there. Super excited to really put the Sigma FP through its paces and just, you know, relax with my friends, have a few beers, really be creative. And that's exactly what I needed. There's nothing like getting together with your friends and just focusing on some creative aspects that you all do. Being in a group setting like that really gives you a clear mental energy on everything you do. So I was having so much trouble really figuring out colors for this system, and when I was in the setting with them, my A game was brought. I was making great colors, as you can see from the footage. We just sat down, all 3 of us, and we were just toying with all the footage, different LUTs, different ways to expose, and really it just brought everything back that I was missing about video. So I want to thank everyone for watching these videos. This is only the 3rd one, but yet we're steadily growing with every video, so thank you so much for watching. I know that I just instantly got into, the time lapses and now the film photography and the anamorphic, which, it's just, I was doing these things, so I might as well talk about them. As of right now, I'm going out, I'm doing things with photo and video, and I think it's good to talk about on camera for the meantime until I start getting more comfortable with the vlog element. And I think that's a good way to run this channel for the time being. So again, I just want to thank everyone for showing up and liking the videos, because so far it's going great. Like the video, comment down at the bottom. I will reply. So definitely do that. And hopefully you can check out my Instagram and everything in the description below. And I hope you all have a really good day. And I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.